Hello and welcome to Bear Football here on the Bar Room Network. John Buffon alongside Aldo and Tyler Ennis. The Bears fall to the Indianapolis Colts. Just an overall uninspired game. The Bears drop to 3-1. They lost by 8 points, but that's not indicative of how the game actually went. Much worse than that. Bears could not get anything going for the majority of the game. The offense looks lost. There was a lot of things going wrong on defense. Overall, this team had a chance to finish the first quarter of the season 4-0, came out flat, and got spanked by a better team today. I'm going to throw it around the horn for initial reactions. Aldo, what do you think about this game?
Well, I think what we saw here is a team that has a better general manager and a better head coach. Chris Ballard has done a better job of building his team than Ryan Pace has done building the Bears team. Chris Ballard, a former Chicago Bears scout, and was in contention to get the general manager job, but instead the Bears brass decided to hire Ryan Pace. Chris Ballard has just done a better job with one of the biggest challenges he had to face, which was to replace Andrew Luck. And yet he has done so successfully. He brought in Jacoby Brissett as his backup quarterback. And then when Phillip Rivers became available, he brought him in to make a Super Bowl run. He has built one of the most dominant defenses in the NFL. A defense that is ranked number one. Now, you can say, now they've played 4 teams that have bad offenses. I don't care. Statistically, they are the best. And what I saw on that TV screen was a defense that can play well against any offense in the National Football League. And I saw a head coach, Frank Reich, who is much better at game planning and scheming than our coach, Matt Nagy. That's what I saw. I don't know what you guys saw. I'm interested in your opinion, but what I saw was disheartening. And we've got a game Thursday against the Tampa Bay Bucks, so we've got an opportunity here to bounce back and save some face here. But right now, the immediate reaction that I had to this game is that the problem exists with the GM and the head coach.
Tyler, what do you think?
Well, I mean, you get revealed, bro. At the end of the day, it's like John, it's like snap back to reality. I mean, it really is what it is. Like when you make a choice to first of all, how about this? I'm gonna say this real quick. I told you don't take Mitch out the game. I'm gonna go and play that card. You know what? I said, wait a minute. I'm about to go off. Wait a minute. My man Mitch back in the game. Say nah. All right, but still, guys, our defense freaking held them for our defense.
Thank you.
Gave up field goals it was 7 consecutive drives. They had 4 3-and-outs, the most 3-and-outs the Colts have given up all season long. The defense did what it was supposed to do. Our offense literally could not perform. It was literally our worst offensive game of the season. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So it's so painfully obvious. I'm not even upset. It's laughable. It's just well, dang, I almost cussed right now. I literally almost cussed. Dang, well, there you go. I mean, guys look hungry. They looked the part. Allen Robinson looked the part. It always gets cute at the end. But Nick Foles, it was the key. It's the key things from earlier. It was those third downs from earlier. It should not have came down to this. It should have came down to the last moment. And so the Colts, I give them props, but that's where it stops because I feel like we played worse than they played good. And I feel like they're a very opportunistic defense. They were very physical. We got out muscled, John. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We got out muscled. We got physically matched. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, in my opinion, I saw some of our DBs just receiving it. You go back to the 2 turnovers that we did not get back that were converted into points. Those drives, it all stacks up, bro. But at the end of the day, I can't even be upset because it's like, yo, they getting paid no matter what.
That's great. But and I will say, since this is a candid show, this is not traditional radio, we can say this team sucked. They sucked today. They were bad. And this was an indictment on the coaching staff today because finally Matt Nagy got the guy that he thinks can run his offense the way it's supposed to be run. Watch, the system's going to work. It doesn't. I know that the system's not flexible, but if we can find people to run it, this is how it's going to be run. And they couldn't do anything. You can piss them and moan about the defense all you want. Yeah, they missed tackles. Yeah, they gave up some big third downs. Yeah, the linebackers didn't play great. They held the Colts to 19 points. They were only at giving up 20.7 up to this point in the season. They gave up less today. And the offense couldn't do anything. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't push the ball down the field. They couldn't convert. Yeah, they get a touchdown late in the game when the Colts are backing up. They're really good against teams that are trying to keep everything in front of them. You notice these comebacks? They're really good when a defense starts just letting them take everything underneath and move down the field. But where were they for 3.5 quarters? They couldn't do anything. And it's an indictment on this team that they didn't come ready to play today. It's an indictment on this head coach that they couldn't do anything today. So where's the problem? It's a trickle down problem. It starts at the top. And so they got to do a little bit of reevaluating. The play calling was garbage. They could not run the ball. The run blocking was terrible. Leno got beat bad. A bunch of Aldo, you tweeted out Leno just get that Ole kind of pass blocking that he was doing. Nobody was inspired today. Nobody. If we were giving out game balls, I'd have to put a knife right through the middle of it and give it to nobody. That was awful. No one played well today. Akeem Hicks flashed. I'll say Akeem Hicks did have some good plays. Allen Robinson went out and he caught the balls that were thrown in the catchable range. But overall, where's the bright spot? Where the defense can still bend and not break for the most part. They can still give up under 20 points. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The offense, if you can only score whenever the defenses are in prevent, then you're not going to win it. You're not going to beat these good teams. You're going to get by beating the Giants. You're going to get by beating the Lions. And so moving forward, if you're playing a team that's worth a damn, right, this isn't going to cut it.
John, what happened?
So they need to do something.
John, why couldn't we score? Why couldn't we score touchdowns, John? Why could we not score touchdowns? What did you see?
Why they couldn't move the well? First of all, I saw that Matt Nagy kind of altered his play calling once he got his boy in there, and so once he got Nick Foles in there, it's like, okay, let's start throwing the ball 30 yards down the field a bunch of times. Let's start slinging it. Let's start throwing it around a little bit. And they couldn't even get the ball into field goal range.
What do you think about Nick Foles' passes, bro? Like, what did you?
He was listen. Nick Foles was under a little bit of duress today, which is not his forte. He needs a little bit of time, but he did. I will say that he processed and went through his reads. But he that one throw to Demetrius Harris way off. He was missing. He was behind some guys, and just overall, he wasn't incredibly accurate. I wouldn't say the accuracy was the problem. But out of his play, it was what we see out of Nick Foles sometimes. He processes well. He's a very cerebral guy, but sometimes does not get the ball to where it needs to go. So average play. I said at halftime, no one thought Nick Foles was going to come in here and be Tom Brady, Joe Montana, start slinging the ball. And all of a sudden, I think the play calling was crafted around, we got an all-star, all-time quarterback in there. Let him sling it. And so this was bad. This was a bad performance.
Well, I do have to give total credit to the Indianapolis Colts. Now, when I mean
they're a good team,
they are a very good team. I thought that Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator for the Colts, called a tremendous game, and he has got a sensational front line. And even when Darius Leonard, their all-pro linebacker, who I liked almost as much as Roquan Smith when he came out in the draft, I thought, that was going to be a great opportunity for the Bears to run the ball more successfully. He was gone the entire second half, but it didn't happen. Those guys were taking an offensive line that looked really good. The Bears' offensive line, particularly in run blocking, looked really good the first 2 games of the season. And then last week, they started to kind of show some flaws and stuff, some defects. And then today, they were manhandled for a good portion of the game, particularly in the entire game in the run blocking. But you got to give credit to Matt Eberfloss, the defensive coordinator. You got to give credit to DeForest Buckner, that incredibly freakish defensive tackle. I mean, typically you see a guy like that lined up on the edge, 6'7", arms that are longer than my entire body. That guy is really, really good. This team, this Indianapolis Colts team, is a serious contender for the AFC title. So you do have to look at what happened to the Chicago Bears from that perspective. Now, as a Chicago Bears fan, it is heartbreaking that we don't compare well against a Super Bowl contending team.
That was my next question.
That is a Super Bowl contending team, and we just don't compare well against them. Not at all.
I was going to say, Aldo, that was my next question. The Colts are good, which is why you would like to see the Bears play well against a good team.
Right.
And they did not. I thought that this was going to be a good measuring stick today to see if the Bears are going to be up to snuff. I get it. They lost by 1 score. Let's not pretend like they lost by, 50 points. Right. But at the same time, they were inept in a lot of ways today. And I even the defense, which held them to 19 points, there were some big flaws in there. If Matt comes up with that interception, what happens earlier in the game? Can they turn that into points? I think there was another interception that Tyler was talking about earlier that they left on the board. So yeah, there were opportunities, but at the same time, is it okay? I just want to know what the blueprint is from now on. The defense has to do this. They have to create these big plays. They have to create these turnovers deep in enemy territory, or the offense just can't get it done. Is that the blueprint moving forward? If it is, then that's okay. Now I know what it takes for this team to win. Now I know what Matt Nagy's philosophy is. As long as I know what the deal is. But if that's what we're going forward, that needs to be made apparent, because they held a team to 19 points and they were never in this ball game.
Yeah, that's the sad truth, is that because you look at the box score here, and let me share it with you. Let me call this up very quickly. Bear with me. It is coming up right here. You look at the box score, right? And
42 throws.
Yeah, you look at this and you see a quarterback, Phil Rivers, who was held to 190 yards passing. Now, he was only sacked once, and you would hope that a flat-footed quarterback who's unable to escape the pocket would be sacked more often. But the one thing you got to give credit to Phil Rivers is that he is a veteran who knows how to avoid the sack and get rid of the ball quickly and when to release it. This rushing game, total 103 yards. The defense bottled them up for the good portion of the game. Now, they did allow big plays, and that is something that this Chicago Bears defense has to come up with a solution to. They do allow a lot of big plays, and sometimes they allow these long drives and fail to get off the field, and you can hyper analyze it and say, well, the offense is not helping them. They're not getting off the field and so forth. But nonetheless, the defense did not play a flawless game, which was what was necessary against this team. But nonetheless, they played well enough for the Chicago Bears to win this game. Right. It was all on the offense. Tyler, what do you think?
Right. So going back to the Super Bowl contenders and stacking up the teams, the reason why what you just said is a reason why I feel like it's even more disheartening, because I feel like we did stack up well. We just couldn't get the job done overall. It just sucks. Yo, he only scored 1 touchdown. You a Super Bowl contender But yet you scored one quarterback touchdown, and the rest we held them. The defense did their thing. This was like a Super Bowl contender versus Nick Foles getting his first start of the season. Let the record be known. I like Nick Foles. I think he's a cool dude. My man finds the open receiver. These are just the facts. But he was still stagnant in the pocket. It goes back to my guy Mitch, who can move out the pocket. Who knows if this would have been a game that Mitch's running capability would have paid dividends. But you can't play. It can't be merry-go-round with that position. But I'm telling you right now, I feel like I am upset because I feel like we missed out on a chance to show what we really have. I feel like I played down to the Colts because the Colts outplayed us. So it's not, I got to give them credit for that. But we didn't make the plays that needed to be made, and has to be like on the offense really, because what can you ask the defense to do? But then at the same time, our free agents got to show up. The sacks. I mean, you got Quinn and Mack. I mean, there was a couple holding calls that DC didn't get called, but Aldo, we got our edges. The left tackle, right tackles got worked, bro. They got work today, and then we can talk about the Eddie Goldmans, but if we're gonna say we're embarrassed, if we're embarrassed by the play, but look how close we did keep it, because the Colts literally could have scored like 42 points if all of those field goals were touchdowns.
That is kind of a saving grace to me, in my eyes, that the game was close and we were playing a really, really good football team. That to me gives me some hope that we will compete and possibly even beat the Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm not that impressed with the Bucks. A lot of people are picking them to go to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady looked, really bad for the first half of that football game. Now, he came through and played good football in the second half, but I still think that the Bears have a chance this Thursday when they play the Bucks, and I know people in the chat room are going to kill me for saying that, but that's how I feel right now.
Well, here's a problem that I get the philosophy of control the ball, control the clock, bleed the opponent down, and the Bears for some reason are pretty good at time of possession. They seem to be able to hold on to the ball. Here's the problem. They're not scoring when they have the ball. This isn't collegiate wrestling where you get points for ride time. You have to actually score after we held the ball for 6 minutes and then we punted. So what good does that matter? What good does that do anybody? So this team needs to learn how. Well, I don't know. It's not even learning now. It's about execution and it's about how about a 3rd and 1 and we toss it to a Cordell Patterson who's playing a running back, more prominent running back role today, apparently, and he runs upright into the middle of 3rd and 1. Let's give it to the former wide receiver up the gut. I just feel like everything has to be, not everything has to be Goodwill Hunting, where you're getting through formulas and you're breaking through the codes and you're just going, can't we just smack someone in the mouth and run for a yard? Honestly, and if you can't do that, then there's an even bigger problem. Because now it's just like we got to do smokes and mirrors and deceptions and end arounds, and we got to do all this stuff. And look, a firecracker. Boom, we're going to do a jet sweep. Like, run the damn ball up the middle. If you can't do that, get somebody in there that can.
But that's the situation, bro. They ran up the middle, and it wasn't working. It's like somebody told them, don't go outside. That's what I saw. I'm like, yo, run the ball outside with the running back. Not a wide receiver.
With the running back. Yes,
with the running back. It's a double-edged sword because I feel like the middle was clogged up the whole game pretty much. And I'm like, that was the majority of it. But hey, guess what, guys? When you play a good football team, you see the cracks in the armor, respectfully. That's when the key positions show up, bro. Inside linebacker. I mean, I'm not calling any particular player out, but like Phillip Rivers, veteran, he's going to attack the weaknesses. These are just the reality of it. He's going to see if the linebacker's playing too far off. He's going to see these things. That was a veteran. That was an older dude beating Leno. That was a super veteran. Houston was giving him veteran moves over there. Yeah. I mean, that was like move in. Like that was like it was like nobody would get your hands up. That was like straight Bruce Lee. Like you can't, but like we all just said, the Colts are a good team. We give them respect. So we can't ignore. We can be mad about the overall picture, but now let's break it down to the simplest form. Think about the positions that got exposed, that did not perform. At the end of the day, you got to take advantage of the opportunities given. And Nick Foles was in a position, and those third down passes was too dang high for the receivers. These are just the facts. It was third down. Go back to the third downs, bro. It's simple and plain. The third down passes on offense. That's why we didn't score.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question about what adjustments did either one of you see major adjustments made in the second half compared to the first?
I did
about
not.
what they came out. Did anybody? And how many games do you think the Bears are going to win if Nick Foles has to throw the ball 42 times?
Not a lot.
No, but what we saw today is what we saw a lot last year. Oh crap! Run game's not working. Throw it out. Don't throw any wrinkles to it. Don't run it outside. Don't change up the running game.
That was a good play by the DB right there. That was great recovery speed. Nick Foles got to get that ball out of there sooner.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a killer right there.
Oh,
really wish you would have came up with that.
Khalil Mack not catching that pass is, a foretelling of what was going to happen to the Chicago Bears today. It was missed opportunities for the offense and the defense. We can just continue to talk while I play these highlights, which are courtesy of
you. You could have won this game.
You don't need to play call these highlights. I just want to have them up there. But I'm with you, John. There were no halftime adjustments that we could tell as fanalists, and certainly the Colts weren't challenged in any way with what the Bears came out with in the second half. It was a combination clearly of poor coaching, but also the Bears, I think, were manhandled by a better team. I really do believe that this Colts team is better coached and has just from their roster from top to bottom is just better than the Chicago Bears right now. What do you guys think about that opinion?
If you hold they held the Colts to 6 points in the second half? Is that how many points they scored?
Yeah. Yes.
That's plenty of time. How much more leeway do you want the defense to give the offense? How many more extra times? How much extra time or to figure things out do you want? You held a good football team to 6 points in the second half, and you couldn't do. You picked up a late touchdown when everyone's already moving back. So yeah, I agree with your assessment, Aldo. They were beat by a better team, and overlooking the score or whatever. For me, it doesn't matter because they got manhandled by this team. They were outsmarted. They were out physicaled. They were out everything by this team. And I wasn't really sold on the Colts being a Super Bowl contender moving up to this. I mean, I looked at who they beat and who they lost to. I still don't see them beating Kansas City. I don't see them beating Baltimore. But so I thought they were a very good team. But if this is what they look like against a pretty good team, then what are the Bears? And I'm not trying to do all this deductive reasoning where if they lost by this many points to this many team and they played them, but I'm just looking the eye test. If they look like this against a pretty good team, then what are they?
And so right there, like watching this footage, understand I am disturbed. I am very disturbed by us losing this game. But the fact of the matter is, it was still a good. This was a game of inches. We didn't make the plays. This was like really boom, 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 like tick for tack stuff. Like we made the sacks, bro. We didn't make the plays every time we make the plays. It was the Colts converted the third downs. I think we were like 1 for 6 or something like that in the first half. But like, we didn't do what we were supposed to do, and we so underplayed from what I expected, like times 2. But I still felt like we were still fighting in this game. Bro, we're still sugarcoating the guys. At the end of the day, the quarterback got to fall on the sword. If the quarterback wins, bro, we give him all the praise. We got to give it to him right now. At the end of the day, I'm more disheartened because the quarterback position is now still a question mark. That is now the biggest thing. We cannot
ignore. It always was.
But we cannot ignore. That is the biggest thing. The quarterback didn't lose us the game. But, bro, that interception was vital, bro. That was still very early. We're going down. That was too high. I mean, these are the facts. The fact is the quarterback position, the defense held us in the game.
Oh, 100%. I don't think anyone went into this game thinking, "Hey, the quarterback position's sewed up now. Let's go take care of business." I just think that they thought they had a better option in Nick Foles. If anything, this just kind of reinforced the fact that the Bears are going to have to draft a quarterback or go find a starter in free agency. Because no, I don't. Me personally, and I think a lot of people didn't think that, oh man, we're good for the next 3 years now. Let's go. No one, I don't think anyone thought that.
I thought I was good for 10 more games.
No, well, let's hope for 10 games. Let's hope. But now we're getting, I mean, all this does, and I'm not trying to talk about the offseason. I'm not trying to talk about the offseason or later on, but this just shows that the Bears still don't really have a quarterback moving forward. They might have a guy that can win them some ball games in Nick Foles later down the year. He might be the guy that can get them into the playoffs. But moving forward, they're probably going to have a different starter next year. And they got the oldest defense in the league. And there's a lot of questions around the offensive line. And Allen Robinson still doesn't have a contract. So where are we at?
That was the play. It was 16-3. We're in their red zone, bro. 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. He threw an interception. It was too high. We didn't get any points.
So hey, guys, we're going to go to Matinee, get the podium.
With a lead, it just didn't happen. So I thought the defense played well. I just had to go back and watch it.
Jeff Dickerson.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Those passes to Mooney and Robinson kind of back to back. Was there a reason? Because were the Colts taking that away? It seemed like one of Nick's strengths was to be able to see those downfield throws and attack downfield. Is there a reason why maybe that was delayed happening today?
I think, Jeff, probably when you go back, and just from what I feel is they started out playing some shell, playing some cover two, and they're going to protect with the shots. And then when you do that and you play cover two, you got to be able to run the ball. And what was happening was they were playing cover two and stopping the run. And when that's the case, you just can't get quite as many shots downfield. Now, they'll still come down and play one high and in certain times try to mix up coverages because they have to keep you honest. But they do a good job of different things there with their defense. And then they got the players that can make that defense run. And so, again, that's a credit to them. So, yeah, you didn't feel as many shots until there in that second quarter. We had a couple downfield, and then we didn't score in a red zone. So I think you felt that.
Just a couple more for Coach Joe Lewis.
Yeah, hey, Coach, you talked about the rhythm that Foles needs to get into going down the season, and it will take some time. With such a short turnaround this week, is there something you guys are going to focus on specifically going into this week?
Not necessarily. Again, the beauty of a short week when you come off a loss is that you can get rid of it. You can get rid of it, and you need to move on. We have no time, in the next hour, we got to get right on to Tampa. So that's the positive, for that. But we just got to figure out, okay, what can we do? How can we get better to help out all these guys? I'll say this about Nick too, that I know you guys know this, but in these type of games, in these type of situations, you're going to see somebody that just understands, it keeps things in perspective and understands that we got to get better and we got to do better on offense, but there's no panic. I think you guys will feel that. You'll see that. And then we just got to go do it.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, guys, take care.
Well, I do agree with him regarding that, that what we are going to see. I do agree with him regarding that Nick Foles is good at putting things into perspective. And, I've applauded Nick's attitude with his Zen-like focus on things. I think he's going to put this game away. And I am glad. I hope that the Chicago Bears don't even show the tape to their players. Just say, hey, we sucked. Now let's start preparing for Tampa Bay. I typically go back and look at every game. There's no effing way I'm going to go back and look at that performance. You know why? We got beat at the line of scrimmage. We got beat with coaching. We got beat in so many ways. We just have to go out there now and game plan better for the Tampa Bay Bucks and perform and execute better against the Tampa Bay Bucks. That's the formula to getting to a 4-1 record. It's not about going back and seeing the mistakes from this game because it's not going to do any good, particularly on this short week. Go out there and prepare for battle against the Bucs. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, and I like that Nick Foles is already probably looking past this, and it's nice that you can have a quarterback that can compartmentalize that stuff, and he's been through everything in this league. He's accomplished everything in this league, and he's not going to get hung up on losing to the Colts in Week 4 of the 2020. So, but at the same time, it's alarming going forward, and I know that sometimes I play Mr. Hypothetical, and I like to go down like these what if threads, but they got a quick turnaround, and if they go out and get spanked by the Bucs, which I don't think is going to happen, but I didn't think that I was going to see that today either. So what happens if they go out and the Bucs go out and spank them? What are we talking about then? What's the narrative then? What are we doing then if they have this short turnaround? And I like that there's a short turnaround because it gives you you don't have to put this in your mind for too long that you were outplayed by the Colts. You can go out and get right back to business. You got to focus on the Bucs tomorrow, if not tonight, because your game is on Thursday, God willing, with everything else that's been going on in this league. But still, you got a game on Thursday. You can put this in the back of your mind. You can go past this real quick by beating the Bucs. If that doesn't happen, then you got, 10 days to stew on this, 13 days before the next game. And if they lose 2 real quick, boom, boom, that's not good. And I'm not saying that this team's mentally weak because they're not. They're mentally weak because they're not. They've shown they're resilient. They're shown they can handle a lot of stuff. But I think that there's a lot of emphasis that needs to be put on Thursday because 4-2 is not good.
Yep, it's not. What do you got to say, Tyler?
I just, at the end of the day, right now, just handle business. I mean, when we break it down to the simplest form, I thought we was gonna win today. I really thought we was gonna like show up, show out. Every time we get flexed, dang, can we just show? Can't the world just see what we see once? Like just show everybody else what we know. That's like every time they always keep it for the local games, but it's just like, yo, winning your division, and we're still at the end. We can break it down and we can be upset and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, we're still in a very good. If you're going to lose a game, and I hate to say this, we lost the game to an AFC opponent, and so we won all of our NFC games. We won our divisional games thus far. Let's hope that the Packers drop an AFC game coming up whenever soon, so we can still break it down and we're still in position. Because all we really need to do is just stay in the fight. It'd be awesome that the Falcons
Yeah,
can help out.
just gonna say that. It would be nice.
If the Falcons win today, we're in first place in the division. Those are just the facts. And so, but no excuses. We got to play better. But it just sucks because, yo, whoever's playing quarterback just step up because we got good players. I feel like we are primed to do something. But like real talk, man, our defense can't be so. Man, we got such a ferocious defense. I hate to say passive because I don't want to disrespect them because I know these guys are like very fierce. But today, I just didn't see us like Eddie did it like later on when they came flying downhill. Like I saw more of this rather than just like hit these dudes in the face. So Tampa Bay, they got tall wide receivers. They got physical tight ends. So that's going to be a challenge in itself. I don't know if Fournette's going to be playing or not. But that's a game we should win. Tampa Bay's defense is not that. But like you said, John, I didn't think the Colts was going to be like this.
No,
I don't know.
No, and I mean the fact of the matter is that they do have an old defense, and I know that I keep stringing it down, looking long picture kind of thing, but I don't think anyone thought that this was going to be the quarterback of the Bears' future, and I've said that already. But like, there's a reason that a lot of our people at the Barroom Network were saying, "Hey, check out North Dakota State this week. This could be the quarterback of the future. Hey, look at this guy. He could be playing for the Bears next year. Hey, check out this guy's tape. He could be playing for the Bears this year." So I don't think anyone thought this was going to be the long term. I would like it to be the short term. I would like it to be an effective short term. I would like to see Nick Foles get this team into the playoffs. And they're still probably only, they got 3 wins or probably 6 wins away from making it to the playoffs this year because of the extra playoff spot. So they will probably only need about 9 wins. But if this is the way that the system is supposed to be run, this is a coaching problem then. Because I was just gonna say, I don't think if Matt Nagy thinks, You know what we need to win? Nick Foles needs to throw it 42 times. Then we'll be okay. That can't be. And I know that the running game was not effective. So the counter argument can be, well, what was he supposed to do? I don't know. Maybe you're the coach and you're supposed to figure that out. But you know what doesn't work? Having Nick Foles throw it 42 times. You didn't just drop Mitch Trubisky and bring in a 28-year-old Peyton Manning. You brought in Nick Foles, who at best has been an above-average quarterback and at his worst has been kind of bad. So you have to understand what he does well and still give him a little help. Right. You can't just say, go win it, Nick. Hey, you did it last week. Go do it again.
Right.
So it was not, I don't know what the game plan was. What was there a game plan? Because I didn't see one. I saw 3rd and 1, handing it to Cordero Patterson. I saw a bunch of just chucking it downfield, seeing what happened. I saw Darnell Mooney playing his butt off. I think if you want to look at a bright spot, if you want us to be Mr. Brightside about this, I think Darnell Mooney is establishing a bigger role in the offense because I think Nick Foles likes him a lot, and maybe because he's fast and he can throw it downfield a lot more. But I think Darnell Mooney is going to be a guy that they're going to have around for a while, and he's going to be a pretty significant part of the offense later down the road. But I don't see what they were trying to do today. I don't know what they were, because I didn't even see them try to really establish the run. And because in the first half they had 10, 11 carries, and they didn't really try to establish the run. They didn't run well, but they didn't try. So I want to know what the game plan was, and we'll never know. But what was the objective here? I assume to score points, but I didn't see that. So I'm interested to see what they do going into Tampa Bay on a short week where you can't be like, okay, throw that out. Let's start from scratch. We got a whole new game plan. We got all this time to plan for Tampa Bay. You got like a day because I think they are at home. So I think so. You do get it. You get tomorrow and you get Tuesday, but you got to install a game plan pretty damn fast. And so you can't.
And it's Tom Brady, dog.
And exactly. So you got a short week to fix that. So if you're asking me, I'm not overly confident we're going to see a whole lot different out of the offense on Thursday night. You don't have much time to overhaul a lot of things or try to install different stuff. You're probably going to see more of the same. Maybe it'll be more effective. Maybe it won't. Right. But we'll see.
And that's key right there, brother. That's key. That's key. Everything you just said, because it's been good so far with all the troubles we've had because we've been winning. Now we lost. So yeah. Nagy, I give him credit for like working things out while we were winning. Now we've lost. So it's hard to make those adjustments. We say all that. But Nagy's job is on a head coach always has to be thinking his job is on the line too. Him and Pace are kind of attached, in my opinion, whatever. Or if Pace like, yo, Nagy, get it together, bro, or what's going to happen? So that being said, how long does Nagy wait to make a change? Let's say what if Foles was to play bad, horrible on Thursday? Is Nagy going to be like, yo, bro, I can't lose this job like it's COVID, respectfully. Like I can't, like it's hard to get jobs nowadays. And so how much is coach going to worry about the overall Bears doing that? And then I'm going to just slide in there. Mitch Trubisky is like undefeated as a starter this year. I'm just going to slide that in there because like, do we go back? I mean, these are the things that are going to be said. I'm not asking this question. This is with all city questions. Everybody's going to be talking about all week. When we go back to Mitch? But like, Foles, bruh, hey, I thought you was ready, dog. Like, yo, you supposed to be ready. Like,
we have a special guest with us from the Barfly Tailgate Show, and I'm going to introduce him in a minute. But first, I have a testimonial. Despite all the facial hair that I have, I like to be well groomed below the belt. And so when I received my Manscaped shaver in the mail the other day, I was like super, super psyched because everything that I've heard about this thing is that it is state-of-the-art, precision engineered tool for my family jewels down there. I like to keep things, I've always liked to keep things tight down there, nice and clean down there. But sometimes there's been nicks and cuts and there's been accidents. And I'm going to talk more in depth about this on our adult theme show. Dan and Aldo bare their souls. So I'll get into details then, but what I want to share with you is that this thing from everything that I've heard, now I'm saying this because I haven't used it yet. I'm going to use, I received it in the mail on Friday, so I haven't had a chance to use it. But this thing, from everything that I've heard, it is a tremendous, tremendous shaver. And Bears Bar Room right now is offering a deal, 20% off. And Bobby Bombs is going to join us in a little while, so perhaps he can talk about his experience because he's had his a little longer. But I know one thing: this thing has a light on it so that you can go down there and take a close look at what it is you're doing. It has got these blades on it that are so precise and are so safe to avoid nicks and cuts. This is the thing that you need in order to keep the family jewels nice and clean. So I urge you all to go to manscaped.com, use the code BARROOM20, and you'll get 20% off the purchase of this. Now, if you're already a customer, you can use that code BARROOM20 to get a refill on any of the products, new blades, what have you, whatever it is you need. Get some new underwear. You want to see the underwear? Stuff is pretty hot, man. Look at this. Get the Manscaped underwear, 20% off. Get whatever you need, 20% off. Now, I'm going to bring in my man, Bobby Bombs, because he's an expert on the Manscaped. You want to say anything about that?
Hey, I guess we'll start with Manscaped. I mean, you said I've been using it longer, but everything's kind of longer over here, although, hey, either way, Manscaped, they got the no-nick technology. You use that thing in the shower, man. I was using it in the shower, like, no lie here. Used it in the shower, running underwater. It just keeps on running perfectly. No shaving cream anymore. No little, gotta be careful. Fuck whatever. I just ran through that shit like the damn Colts did our defense today. And it worked perfectly fine. No nick technology. Boys.
By the way, John and Tyler, this is what you're getting for Christmas. So it'll be in the mail.
Oh, you ruined the surprise. Thanks.
Yeah.
Mr. John Buffone, Mr. Tyler Ellis, the Gaines Report. Great joining you dudes. If the Bears came out in the first quarter with as much fire and tenacity that you two come out with in every show, this game would have been completely different. John, I texted one of my buddies tonight and I told him, dude, I feel like this Bears season is Rocky 7. We go out, we get beat the hell down, right? And we're bleeding and whatever. We look like we're dead and dormant, and then it's like 5 minutes left. It's like dun, 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 and then like here we go, and we start playing the game. This game, dude, this season, it just bothers me. I know you're ready to fire off, and the whole thing just bothers me, man. I think honestly, with Nick Foles, we have the quote unquote Nagy quarterback now, right? We have I know you guys were talking about it earlier, but did this throw Matt Nagy into reverse to where we stopped running the ball? We stopped the running game because Nagy, we've seen him do this with Mitch when he thought Mitch was his quarterback. He threw 46 damn times. He ran the ball 6 times. Did this quarterback come out and throw Nagy into reverse thinking that he's going to go out and just light up the scoreboards, just go crazy?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, where, Nagy got his system guy. He got his shiny new toy. Okay, what was working in the first 3 games? Throw that out because I got my guy. Here's my system. We're going to toss it around. Our short passing game is going to be our running game, and we're going to then throw it down the field. And Nick Foles is going to throw it 42 times. Running game be damned if we only have 11 carries, 16 carries. If we only run the ball collectively for 30 yards, who cares? Because we're going to be spreading it around. That's not what this offense is going to accomplish. And I know that Nagy's system does not allow a lot of flexibility. He does not craft his system to his players. And so he doesn't have the horses in the stable for what he wants to do. This isn't Kansas City. You don't have Patrick Mahomes. Hell, you don't even have Alex Smith right now. So so you don't have what it takes for his system to work. And he's not willing to really budge on that a lot of the time. So like you said, we're going in reverse. It's like, hey, let's toss it around. Let's do it 42 times. Nick Foles, he knows this system. I have a good rapport with him. He knows all these coaches. Let's just do what we do, boys. Let's toss it around. We did it last week in the fourth quarter. Let's do it again. Well, the defenses are going to they have this thing called film, and they're going to see that. And you saw the DBs for Indianapolis today. like Tyler was saying, close in on a lot of those routes, and they knew it was coming. And that's why, for the most part, they only earned 3 points. They got that garbage time touchdown towards the end, but they earned 3 points today. And if that's what your offensive-minded coach is going to bring you week to week to week to week, then we might be having to have a different discussion down the line. I'm not calling for Nagy's job. I'm not calling for Pace's job right now. They're 3-1 for God's sakes. But at the end of the day, if this is what you brought this guy in to change the offense, to be an offensive team, and you have a good defense, you have a winning defense, a defense you could win the Super Bowl with if you had a productive offense. They don't have that.
Yeah,
and that's what you brought this coach in for.
I'm not calling for either job, but I am calling for Pace to go down and be like, dude, I gave you who you wanted. This is the guy you wanted. Right now, Mitch Trubisky made me look like shit. I drafted this dude here. Made me look bad. Then Nick Foles, you wanted this trade. You wanted him to come in here because he was your guy. He was the guy that can run your offense. Today, what did we see? I don't care if you're going up against the number one rush stopping defense in the league. That doesn't matter. None of that matters. You still tried to dictate your will in the game. And you've seen Akeem Hicks come out and play on the defensive side. You've seen him come out and be a monster. But yet, on the opposite side, Rocky Sin, he was tearing him up, dude. Rocky Sin came out. Hopefully he's not hurt long because the dude was a great pick, but you see him come out and do it. And Tyler, I know me and you go back and forth texting through the game, man, at 68% maybe, like 72% maybe. And we've been doing this, and I was like, yo, it's a thing. I got to do it today because every game we're behind, man. And they're like, I don't know though. Honestly, this game felt worse to me than any of the other games. Last game I was a little closer to feeling like, am I just so lost on what this team is right now? And I don't, it makes me question myself. And it makes me go back and be like, what do you do? You're saying this, you're saying that. And I know on the tailgate show, we're always, you're game day morning. You know what I mean? We don't get the after effect. We get the morning. Everybody's like, here we go. We're ready. Like whatever. Right. And you're pumped. It's like at any game day morning. You go to a game, you watch a game. It doesn't matter. You always are optimistic because you want your team to do well. And then some realization sets in throughout the game. Right. And you're like, man, what are we doing right now? And Tyler, I know all of this, man, and you're always too positive for me, dude. Sometimes I'm like, man, I sent him a text the 1 week, it was 68%, and he, that we would win, and he's 92.3. Is that the radio station you're listening to right now? What are we talking about?
No.
What do you think, Gaines?
First and foremost, it's really dope for my man Bobby to be stopping through. That's awesome, man. Barfly Tailgate Show every Sunday morning, getting kicked off. AC, KB, my man Ryan Badgie, Badge of Honor. Bobby, dope to have you. So it's dope. Everything I was texting Bobby during the games, what I'm talking about with John about. But bro, we couldn't run at the end of the day. It's we couldn't run a gap that wasn't there. And so it's just Nagy, it's on Nagy. And Bobby, you really put the words out my mouth when Nagy should be hearing from Ryan Pace today. That is a fact. That's just, I can just picture in my head. Nagy gonna get home and his phone's gonna ring. It's gonna be Pace calling him so buddy, what's up? What's the game plan gonna be? Because this is still a game we still could have won. It's a game we could have won. Foles did some good things, but it just wasn't consistent enough. As we can see, we could talk about her even right now. Allen Robinson is good on one-on-ones. Allen Robinson is good one-on-ones. Mooney got love. But guys, this game was kind of lost even at the line of scrimmage. That's the only thing you really go to because we weren't winning those running battles. And then if they're consistently kicking field goals, we got to score points. And so at the end of the day, quarterbacks, the offense hasn't produced as a whole. And so it is on that because I feel like we weren't prepared to take the fight to them. It's we kept getting ready, and we ran out of time.
Dude, we didn't even get in field goal range, though.
No, couldn't even attempt a field goal.
Exactly. We're looking at a team that, honestly, and I hate to say it, at some points is better with Mitch because Mitch runs to the right. He tries to get the hell away from where Leno's at, to get away from that left side of the line. He has some mobility and can extend a play. And if you look at it, I mean, I'm not saying that overall I think we're better with Mitch because I think Mitch has a lot of growing to do too, right? And I honestly think Foles is going to go back and be like, hey, so you really called this like at this point in the game. Like, I think Foles can do that and, and kind of relay that back. And I don't expect any huge changes. Like John was saying, we got 4 days, right?
Yeah.
If Nagy's had a lot longer than 4 days to figure this out. And here we are, fellas. But I'm saying we have 4 days. I don't see a lot changing, but I do see him going back to the run now. I do see him saying, yeah, you're right. I kind of got away from that. I kind of didn't do that. I didn't do this. I didn't put a 12 set, a 13 set in. I didn't go to my tight ends. How many passes did he throw to the tight ends today?
I mean, there was a couple that Graham made some good plays on.
Yeah.
But not enough. How about that?
The main deal is Mitch is more comfortable seeing the underneath route, in my opinion, and seeing the tight end. And Foles is more comfortable with looking deep and looking for a wide receiver. Mitch looks for the outlet. Foles looks for the deep ball, and that's just between them. And you've seen, I don't know, man. I just think like there's a lot to be said. And I agree with Aldo. The Colts are a playoff team. I agree. But we didn't even put an offense together, boys.
Let me add this. By the way, there were 7 passes to the tight ends, 5 to Graham and 2 to Harris, 0 to Cole Kmet, who I think Berlissimo may have been correct in that when he made his assessment about Cole Kmet coming to the NFL is that he's a poor route runner, and perhaps that's why we're not seeing him involved in the passing game yet, because he needs to learn how to run that entire route tree in order to be effective in the NFL. But be that as it may, one of the things that we have not talked about, and it was mentioned in the chat room probably 20, 30 minutes ago, is all of these penalties. There were 8 penalties for 103 yards called on the Chicago Bears. And it seemed like, and I'd have to go back and do the research, but it seemed like on every Indianapolis Colts scoring drive, I know in the very first drive, there was a penalty against the Chicago Bears. And some of them I thought were questionable calls, like the pass interference call on Kyle Fuller in the very first series. But nonetheless, these penalties, the Cordero Patterson penalty, which we talked about in the beginning of the show, these are backbreakers. These are just and it goes to the coaching staff. You've got to have your guys go out there and play disciplined football, and that's not what we are seeing. In fact, the whole penalty situation has been an issue for all 4 games this season. So I'm a little bit worried about that. Matt Nagy is known as a player's coach, but are they really playing for him now? Because it seems to me that they are not, because if they were playing for him, then they would be playing penalty-free. They would be playing disciplined football. They would be executing better. They would be coming out of the tunnel fired up and ready to play all 4 quarters, and that's not what I am seeing out of this team. So I am a little bit worried that this players coach named Matt Nagy is not reaching this team and is not motivating them and is not getting them to execute to their level of expectation.
Yeah, I think penalties always reflect on the coach. I think that shows a lack of discipline. How about them getting a punt blocked today when they missed their assignment completely? The guy could have shimmied the whole way there, and he could have still got a hand on that ball. Nobody touched him. And so you think that whenever you set those things up, you should know what your assignment is. And still, it comes back to discipline, and that comes back to coaching. So this team, I wish there was a gauge to see how well mentally prepared somebody was for something. I don't think they were. I don't think that they were prepared to win this game. I don't think they were properly coached up this week. I saw a team that looked lost. They're still trying to find their identity or whatever it is that they are. You better find something. Find something.
Crazy. It's crazy to even think that we're here, bro, because we literally just left a 4th quarter when we put it all together. Guys, it's not – we all just said 4 different things between penalties, drop passes, drop turnovers, overthrows. It's not any one thing. And so that's why I can't even put it all on Nagy, because it's not just, it wasn't just the penalties that killed us. The penalties didn't help.
Isn't that what makes it on Nagy though? When it's an encompassing, like when it's everything.
But of course, but what I'm saying is, to play winning football, you have to go without. Last week in the fourth quarter, we hit it on all 3 cylinders, no penalties, and in crunch time. But no, the fourth quarter will be matter most. This week we didn't get it done. In the fourth quarter, when game was on the line, we didn't get it done. Drop passes, because this week we gotta give the coach credit. We give the coach credit because the Colts knocked those balls out. The Allen Robinson, thank goodness it wasn't called a fumble. Like, boom, off the hits. I mean, there were passes deep down that we just didn't get this game. The ball didn't swing our way. We give the coach credit for that. But between overthrows, drop passes, we couldn't convert. We ran forward on first down. It was second and long. We didn't convert, guys. It all goes back to third down. But with no way you slice it, we can zero in. We didn't move the chains. Defense did what they had to do with what they could do. We can give Roquan some love when he warmed up. Johnson warmed up a little bit,
right?
Yeah, totally.
A little bit. I think I kind of knocked down Roquan this morning. Roquan's leading this team in tackles, and I said this morning, don't get me wrong, he's leading this team in tackles, and he's a hell of a player. Is he a first round pick, like where he's supposed to be, bringing that energy to the team type of player? I don't think he is. I think that he needs to show fire after these plays. Pump your defense up. You're giving plays in. You're doing this. You're in the middle. Like, make a play, like excitement, like go pump people up. Now back to penalties, dude. Like, I'm okay with the Kyle Fuller penalty. Kyle Fuller put his hand in the air on the one, and he's like, "Hey, right here, that was me." But he did it because he thought he was beat for a touchdown. I will 100% of the time give a DB a free flag if he thinks he's beat for a touchdown. Because you know what? He's not giving up 7.
The safety was over top, which shows lack of a teammate. No, Eddie, 38 was over top, bro.
Not on the right side. Not on the one down the right sideline.
Yes, he was.
Well, we'll have to go back. We'll have to go back and look. But I'm always good with a DB getting
on an island,
doing that to save a play. I'm also good if fucking sorry. I know you guys, we ain't on that level or whatever, but I'm also good if Charles Leno will start getting some holding calls. Like, that would be a lot better. Do something with your hands. I don't care what it is. Like, it's not this. Like, do something with them. I don't care. He let Justin Houston blow past him like 3 times. Do something. Get him, like, hit him in the head. I don't care, like, hang on to him. I don't care what it is. There's so many calls that Mac doesn't get for holding that I honestly believe that there may be a lack of the look at that. And if Leno can get away with some holds, then cool. I don't care. Justin Houston, he literally blew right past the Aldo put it up. Like, just let him go, man. There's penalty. Jalen Johnson, I don't like the talk. You're a rookie. Like, you're a rookie. Do your thing. You've been great. We've all been talking about you. You've been stellar. It's been awesome. Keep doing that. Stop with the mouth. Like, stop with that shit. You got burned. You got burned by T.Y. Hilton. You ran inside. He ran outside. He burned you up. Then you got a penalty. For what? For a ball that probably wasn't even catchable, but here we are. And yes, we gave up a bunch of yards. There's a couple I agree with, and there's a couple that even as a coach, I would tell my kids to do. Like, yo, if you're burnt, grab that kid. I don't give a shit. Like, grab him, pull him down. Like, take the penalty. Because our defense can stop them from 25 yards out going in. Our defense has another chance. You are the last chance. If you think you're toasted, take them to the ground. I don't care. I'm okay with it. Like, let's give another shot at it and leave points off the board. Let me
jump in here. Let me jump in here a second. I want to share something with you guys. This is a play in the first half. You guys are talking about Roquan Smith. I'm going to show you really what is this play to me exemplifies what is happening with the Chicago Bears defense, and in particular, what is happening with Roquan Smith and Danny Trevathan. Here is Roquan. I'm circling him right here. This is a run player. The center is going to do a great job of jumping off the snap and finding Roquan right away. Here he comes. Now, look at his right hand. He's holding him. He's holding him and pushing him to the ground. And then he pushes him all the way to the ground. And you can even say that he is blocking him in his back. Watch how this play unfolds. He blocks him in his back and gets him down to the ground. Now, the athleticism of Roquan is that he immediately gets back up and pursues the play. But here is the problem. This is why this was a first down run by the running back, Danny Trevathan. Danny Trevathan here is blocked effectively. I'm circling him right here. He's blocked effectively by the left guard, and boom. There goes Roquan getting back up after he is held and knocked to the ground with a block to the back. The offensive lineman is looking at the official, hoping that there's no flag thrown, and here's Danny Trevathan being blocked effectively, and there goes the running back for the first down run. This is happening over and over again. When you are blaming Roquan Smith for the play, is because he doesn't have Robin to his Batman. That's the problem here. It's not Roquan.
I don't always blame Roquan for the play. I blame Roquan for not being a leader on the defense, for not getting into people, for not doing shit. Like, look at the dudes.
Khalil Mack does that? Does Khalil Mack get into people's faces? Now, you can say that maybe this defense needs a leader on the sidelines. Yes, but you can't single out Roquan for not doing that when Khalil doesn't do that, when Robin Quinn doesn't do that, when Kyle Fuller doesn't do that, when Eddie Jackson doesn't do that. Then you got to again blame Ryan Pace, because he's the guy that is accumulating this talent, and he should know I need a team leader on this defense. I got a lot of great athletes, but I don't have a voice. I don't have a voice on this defense.
So what's the weakest point of our defense right now positionally? What's the weakest spot?
Probably linebacker.
Yeah.
It's been a liability. It's been a liability all year.
Right.
Inside linebacker. So I would expect, and this is just me, I'm not a damn coach, I'm not whatever, right? I would expect Roquan, knowing that Danny's struggling, to step up and be a first round pick. This dude's a first round pick. Like, this is a guy, we blame Mitch for being a first round pick. We blame Kevin White for being a first round pick. We blame all these people for being first round picks, but we do not hold Roquan's feet to the fire for anything. Do I think obviously he's a great defensive dude. Do I think he's a Chicago Bears? Maybe that's me being old. Maybe that's me wanting a fiery Buffon, wanting a damn Singletary, wanting just some dude to be like, to have it, to bring it, to grab a dude by his face mask and be like, yo, like, what are you doing right now? Like, to be that person. Maybe that's my fault. But that's what I'm looking for, because that's what I've grown accustomed to. And maybe we're not the black and blue division anymore. Maybe that's not us. I mean, it's quite possible that we're not that.
Well, it's also very possible that you're seeing the sand come on the other side of the hourglass now. This defense is getting older. There were going to be cracks in this defense. It's not 2018. These guys were at their peak about 2 or 3 years ago, and if you would have had a competent offense then you would have seen them going even further. If they would have had a competent offense last year, they would have gone a lot further. Now you're seeing that great defense that is always put on a pedestal, and I still have a lot of faith in. You're starting to see some cracks in the armor, and that was going to happen. That defense was not just going to stay. These are human players. So that you had to capitalize when you had that defense, and they did not put anything in place to actually complement that defense. We've seen this with the Bears in other decades as well. Look at the mid-2000s when they had a great defense. Couldn't have an offense to save their life. So you're finally seeing that defense come back down to earth, be human a little bit, and the offense has to pick it up, and they're not. So it's just one of those things.
Are they really behind what they need though? Because you've seen them grab Robert Quinn, right? You've seen them grab Robert Quinn. You've seen them grab Gibson, and try to like shore up the spots that they thought. Okay, Haha's leaving. We need this. We're gonna get rid of Floyd. Let's bring in Robert Quinn. Let's pay this guy. Let's pay that guy. Inside linebacker, we're good, right? And that's where they were at with the defense. Now, are they behind the line here with thinking like?
No,
offensive line, we're good. We don't need to do anything right now.
They just had too much money tied in.
You're not behind. Like we've been taking care of position by position. We took care of Eddie. You got Fuller. We're getting to the second round. I mean, look at the job that Johnson has done at a starting position. Like that is critical. The fact that we want to give up touchdowns. He's not getting burnt every week. No, we expected Danny to play great. To play great this year because he had a year off after that injury. Danny Trevathan's been amazing up until this point. And so it's like, if we're all just figuring out, it comes in waves. When you play a good team, it's not cracks, guys. We're talking about craps. We're focused on the defense because the freaking offense couldn't score. Yo,
I mean, none of us expect this team to go 6-0, right?
Guys, hold on, guys. Hold on. I got this up on the screen just to show that I'm fair-minded here.
No, I think that's unfair, though. Like, I know I was the one going after Roquan, but I think this is kind of unfair because I believe this is the play that Roquan's on a stunt and then like covered up almost 17 yards to turn the corner on. So I think this is a little unfair because the dude can close distance. I'm not saying he can't. I think he's great. He closes with the best of them. But I think, and I seen that from Adam earlier, like during the game, and I think that's a little unfair because Roquan was, if I'm talking about the same one, he was in the gap, showing a stunt, showing a blitz, and he got turned down on the corner. He got turned down on the corner because the defense got pushed back a little bit.
All right, let's talk about what Ty's question is here. Is this a Chuck Pagano problem, John Buffon?
Well, it's both really because you're obviously not seeing the same results you saw with Vic Fangio. I don't think anybody expected you to see the same results that you had with Vic Fangio. What we thought we were going to get with Chuck Pagano is a more pressurized system. You thought you were going to see more pressure on the quarterback. You thought you were going to see less of, and you kind of are, less of those edge rushers falling back into coverage, although we saw Leonard Floyd do quite a bit of that last year. But yeah, there is a scheming problem there because they're one sack on Phillip Rivers. I get that he's savvy and he can get rid of the ball, but they were about a half second late on a whole bunch of plays where you thought, man, an extra second they're there. Man, an extra second they're there. And they weren't there. And Aldo, I wanted to go back on you talking about Ryan Pace a little bit. I mean, you're right because how many they do fine in the third, fourth, fifth rounds, but they've had to do a lot in free agency to put band-aids on some bad draft picks. Yep. You go out and you get Quinn because Leonard Floyd didn't get it done. Adam Shaheen fell apart, so you had to go out and get Jimmy Graham and then draft Cole Kmet again in the second round. Mitch Trubisky didn't work, so you had to go out and get Nick Foles. You have to constantly.
And you're going to have to get a quarterback in the draft.
And you're going to have to get another quarterback again. Right. So if you want to go to the root of a lot of this stuff is you're using free agency not to, really address some of the positions that need done. It's to put band-aids on your own wounds that you put into yourself. And that's where you're running into problems. You have so much money and these positions should have been shored up financially with rookie contracts or lower contracts because they're homegrown, but you have to go out and overpay to bring other guys in because your draft pick didn't work out there. So then you're financially strapped moving forward and everyone's like, well, they can't possibly sign Dak. They have no money. Well, yeah. Why? Because you gotta go out and get free agents, and I know Khalil Mack's costing you a lot of money. That's fine, but at the same time, you can't bring in all of your draft. You can't bring all of your free agents in because your high draft picks didn't work out. So I think that there's a lot of that as well moving forward because it's a team full of band-aids.
Right. We can't let guys. Let's. I get it. I was hard on him already too. Let's do it.
I know. I'm just bringing levity to the moment. Bring levity to the moment.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Let me yin-yang this thing up real quick. Yo, we 3-1. Yo, we can't. I get it. They play bad today. But no, I'm not gonna do that to Pace, because he's been doing what he can do in cycles. You have everything comes in waves. I love the off season that we had this past one. We got more production out of the tight end position so far this season than we did all last season, in my opinion. So Jimmy Graham for a touchdown in the other game. As sad as that is, it still is what it is. Yo, let's just take a step back. I'm not even going that hard on the defense because it's very simple. The defense gave the Colts 4 3-and-outs. Any other team that's 28 points that's possible to be scored. Why won't those points scored? It's really that simple. We only scored 28. 28 points would have won the game today. The defense did their jobs. Somebody that plays defense, bro, you get tired eventually. Of course, you're going to turn the corner eventually. Yo, calm down. We just got to calm the noise on like, yo, these dudes was running and they was getting hold. I was about to say hold it. That's not a word. But like, what happened when you don't have those seconds? We don't want to go hard on our offensive line, but guess what? Phillip Rivers had that one extra second. I saw Quinn getting through that one on a good dip. He barely got it off. We really had 3 sacks, but 2 of them got called back for penalties. So guys were there, but it was a half a second. If our offensive line stepped up and gave Nick Foles a couple more seconds, because there was like 3 or 4 plays, it's a game of inches. It's a game of opportunities. What are you going to do with the opportunities that are
number one?
Hold on before you go
ahead.
there. Just to amplify on Tyler's point here,
yes.
I want to show you. Here's the scoreboard for today's games. You guys can see this, right?
Oh, I thought you were going to show me the 1-4 Broncos. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Right. Their defense gave up 19 points. Look at this.
Yeah.
25-33, 49-38.
And that's where I was about to go to. Perfect.
31-23, 38-31, 31-17. Oh, that's the first score I've seen that is below 19. Right. 31-21. 31-23. These games are 17-9. All right, so that these two teams at below 19.
No, but your point is valid,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Your point is valid. We're looking at the highest scoring offenses in years in the NFL. We're looking at the top scoring offenses, like in however long it's been. We're looking at top scoring offenses. Should the defenses be struggling? Yes, they should. Should Vic Fangio be the answer? No, he should not. Like, okay, Vic Fangio was good here. I get it. Vic Fangio, do you guys not remember like being up 30-1 to like 7 on the Green Bay and they're getting toasted? Do we not remember playing like an off coverage or getting toasted? And then we were all calling for Fangio's head and saying like, this dude's playing soft. He does this. He does that. He does this. I get it. I get that Pagano doesn't have the defense that Chicago wants, but I also get that his defense is producing. They're shutting people out. Like we literally gave Indianapolis their first 3-and-out of the season today. Of the season. First one. 3-and-out of the season. Today.
Yeah,
like we literally have stepped and done things. We've seen rookie cornerbacks that are comfortable with running their mouth. And I know that I complain about it, but there's always a flip side. There's always the opposite side, right? This dude is comfortable running his mouth because he's becoming a beast, because he's doing this. And there's things that I could say about Pagano's defense. Can I say that he drops Mack in coverage on 3rd down? And I think that's crap. He should be rushing. Yes. Can I also turn around and say Mack was in coverage on 3rd down today and broke the pass up, and that's why they didn't get it first? Yes. Like there's things that he does, and there's a reason why we are where we are and he is where he is. You can crap on a dude. You could do whatever you want, right? The dude is proven, and it's okay. Did he get beat today? Honestly, he gave up a touchdown in my opinion, I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, I do because I was listening before I joined, but that this team came out flat, right? The whole defense came out flat. We got people laughing at each other, doing whatever, like just kind of, hey, what's up, boys? Glad you guys came to the schoolyard today. We're gonna play. Cool, let's do it. Like it was a game of like, we gave up a touchdown in the beginning. What happened after that? What happened when things started getting serious? The only thing that I would say about Pagano is maybe I want him to be a little more infuriated when people mess up. Maybe I want him.
It happened last week.
That's
it. It happened last week against the Falcons with Eddie Jackson laughing with Calvin Ridley, almost giving him a high five after he got
play of the game.
On the first play of the game, yucking it up after that.
And I feel like this team. I won't say this team, this coaching staff, right? I feel like they're too cool with everybody. Like there's no repercussions, or if there is a repercussion, it's like, oh shit, coach just yelled at me, dude. And then it's like, oh, all right, here we go.
We don't know.
But why are we like that?
We don't know, bro. But we don't know. We gotta take the bad with the good, man. It has to be. We don't know.
So I'll tell you, the good is our defense is still a top defense,
facts.
and we still
the facts.
Yeah.
And we're 3-1. Pending what happens with the Green Bay, we might be first place, second place. So we're still fighting. And so like I'm not even going at. I'm going at my offensive coaches right now because Chuck did what he could do. Our DBs didn't get roasted. And so let's keep on this show. We keep it straight. We calling it spade for spade.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, Chuck, dog, you're doing your thing. I praised Chuck the other weeks because our DBs were not getting beat back to back. And so right now, next draft, we'll take care of everything next draft. For this season, next week, Tampa Bay. Hey, yo, yeah. I like the people we got in place. John, our offense has to step it up. These are just the facts. Defense did enough for us to win today. We didn't make a splash on special teams. Cordell was getting stopped. Cordell got hit today. Cordell plays in football today because
CP tried to put the game in his own hands. That's why he got lit up today. He felt he had to do something more. That's what he did. That's 25 yards.
That's out of desperation because nobody else is.
Correct.
Nobody else is doing it.
He has the fire and like the vigor. You see him like throw the ball. You see him get pissed off when shit doesn't happen. You see him correct people. I think there's a lot of comfortability with this team, and they don't hold each other accountable. And I'm not saying like what either way. They don't hold each other accountable because everybody's like, it's cool. We're gonna do it. Like, I kind of want this team to get stepped on, to get rolled over, to be like, wake the hell up. Like, who are you? You're a Hall of Fame, about to be a Hall of Fame player. You're about to be a Hall of Fame player. You're drafted in the first round. You could be a Hall of Fame. You're a safety, and you're balling. You have, like, tons of returns. You kick ass. You could be Hall of Fame. And yet, what are we doing right now? You're letting a team walk all over you. On the offensive side, you turn around, Jimmy Graham, Allen Robinson, Nick Foles, fucking MVP, quarterback, Super Bowl. I don't give a crap. Their middle, Darius went down. Leonard was out. He was out by halftime. One of the most dangerous people you have in that defense was gone. And what did your team do? Nothing. They did nothing. They did jack and shit until they went to prevent defense. They did nothing.
Relax, bro. Relax. Yeah. Dog. Breathe. Yo.
Yeah, well, I think
you don't gotta relive it, dog.
I want to play analyst psychologist real quick because what I think we're seeing here out of us probably out of a lot of Bears fans right now is we suppressed a lot in the last 3 weeks because when they were playing the Lions, we were ready to explode saying, how could we lose this bad to the Lions? And then they came back and won. When they almost blew it against the Giants, we were ready to go and like, oh my God, I'm so mad at this team. And then they won. So we're like a tea kettle where it's just about to start spewing and then they lift the cap off and then it's okay. And then last week when they couldn't convert a third down and we bring that up, we brought it up this week because they lost. We let it slide last week because they ended up winning. They couldn't convert any third downs at the beginning of last week, but then Foles comes in and it's an awesome return and it's an awesome comeback and it's just like okay, all that anger that I had is gone because they won. Well, they didn't get to take the top off of the tea kettle this week, and we're exploding now because finally, all of the things that we see go wrong, you're allowed to complain about it. I feel like we're not allowed to complain about stuff when the team loses. You can't talk poorly about the team when the team loses because what do you want? Why are you being so negative? They lost, so you can't point out any of that stuff. You can point it out now because they got their ass kicked, and you can start saying, this was wrong in week 1. This was wrong in week 3. This was wrong this week. So now you're seeing all of this retroactive rage spew out of people because they were keeping it quiet because the team was winning. And now you're seeing a lot of that boil over now because what we've been seeing for the last 4 weeks, we get to actually point out now. We're allowed to point it out now. That's
exactly why we're here, John, to give the people some peace before they go back out into reality real quick, bro. So we can help control because we have an experienced narrative because, like, first of all, what your family did for the game, you see what I'm saying? There's a football perspective of like we don't have to hit the panic button, and so like there is room for grace because like, yo, it is what it is. We won't see them again. All right, thank God. See you. All right, AFC.
AFC, yeah.
We'll see. Okay, if you make it to the Super Bowl, we'll see you there. All we gotta do, check it out. All we gotta do is beat the NFC teams, guys. Let's just bring it in real quick. All we gotta do is win our division.
Sounds so easy.
So
yeah. Why not?
We could take the easy way out and say that Frank Wright.
It's not about the easy way. Yo, you win the game you're supposed to win.
Yeah, but we could say that Frank Wright was going to beat Foles anyway. Because he always has.
At the end of the day, nobody says anything about who Aaron Rodgers has to fight to the playoffs. Fact of the matter is, Aldo, can you cue up our schedule for us, please? And so we got Tampa Bay coming up. Let's just focus on the games that we got to play. The offensive production has to step up one way or another. Will Nagy, let's tone it down. Let's get people ready for let's move forward. Because we don't keep
They got winnable games. They got winnable games coming up.
So
I get it, man.
We got Tampa Bay coming up, right?
And then you got the Panthers afterwards. I think the Panthers are beatable.
Those are going to be two good games, and McCaffrey comes off IR that week. That's our luck. So Roquan Smith, who was drafted for his sideline and sideline speed, will get tested. And so, but how would our quarterback? How would the offensive play calls be called going forward? And then John, real quick, how will our DBs cover these physical receivers and these physical bigger tight ends and receivers on Thursday? That's the thought process.
They might be banged up. I mean, Mike Evans, he came back in, but he limped off the field. Godwin didn't play. I think OJ Howard might be gone for the year. So with an Achilles injury. So you got to deal with Gronk, I guess. I don't know if Fournette's going to play. Much like everybody else, it's going to be a war of attrition. So who's actually going to be playing for Tampa Bay? We'll see. Plus, they got a short turnaround. So you look at some of those games. If they can beat Tampa Bay and beat the Panthers, then they're. I mean,
John, I see 6 straight, bro. I see 6 straight. If we have consistent
well,
I love you, dude.
No,
you're like one of the best dudes I know.
If we have quarterback play, if our offense was a score 21 to 28 points,
if we have quarterback play, of course.
Yeah, and if I had wheels, I'd be a wagon, Gaines, but I'm not.
I would venture to call him the shaggin' wagon.
Our defense can control those teams. That's what I'm telling you. We just saw what the Saints, we saw the Saints lose to the Raiders, bro. We saw Minnesota already get exposed. And so these are winnable games. These are games that we can physically.
They definitely are. No, they definitely are. And you know what? The landscape, I won't even go week to week right now because the landscape in the NFL right now is so drastic week to week, man. There's so many people that don't have a preseason. There's so many people that don't have things going. And I honestly think you're going to see defenses. Yeah, you're going to see defenses start stepping it up. You're going to see offenses start scoring less. You're going to see defenses start scoring more. That's my fear, Gaines.
But
it's because we're in a game where our offense should score more and they didn't.
Right. And this week that Mr. Trubisky didn't start, we had our worst offensive performance of the season. Yes, you are correct. Now
they also played the best defense they played all year.
The best defense in the league, John.
And that's not Mitch's fault. All I know is Mitch was ready. All I know is Mitch is on the sideline.
I know. Mitch was ready. But I will say this. You're right in saying a lot of these games are winnable because you look, no one's running through the league. Even the Rams had to pull out a 17-9 win over the Giants this week. So it's not like they're gonna blow the doors off of anybody. The Saints, they looked beatable. The Bears will probably open up as an underdog there. But scrolling through, like Bobby said, though, who knows what the landscape of these teams are even going to look like in 3 weeks? Who's going to be left? Who's coming back off IR? Who's going on IR? Whose defense steps up? Who starts running the ball a little bit better?
Who hangs out with the hooker that's got COVID?
Yeah, well, they got to go to Nashville in what 4 weeks or 5 weeks. They got to go to Tennessee. That's not exactly a place I want to go right now with all the outbreak with the Titans. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen. Cam Newton's not even playing on Monday night now because he's on the COVID list. So every game is going to be its own adventure because we don't know who's going to be playing, who's hurt, who's peaking, who's in the valley. So I will give you that most game looking over these games, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears won. They're winnable games, but they ain't beating anybody playing like that. I mean, you're three. Like I said, they earned 3 points today. They got 11. They earned 3. If you want to say that they really earned the 2-point conversion, fine. They earned 5. So,
Yeah.
but at the end of it, so 5 points. They ain't gonna beat anybody.
I'll give you 5.
The Colts DBs play physical. I don't
Not
think
on the last drive.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't because they were giving up
Garbage touchdown.
Yeah, for totally. But John, but going forward, I mean, some of the DBs that we're facing, I mean, Allen Robinson still did his thing. A lot of receivers weren't getting the separation that I like. I wish there were some plays that I wish Nick Foles would have went somewhere different with the ball. But some balls, like I said, he did throw it away from getting the interception. And so, but coming up, what we got going forward, if we're talking about Tampa, like not even just being positive about it, but just like Nagy, it's on you, bro. Nagy, like really, it's on you to scheme this up and give us Belichick, Tom Brady, new wide receivers every single year, got the job done. I mean, that's just what it is. And I'm not saying anybody should be Brady, but guess what? Guess who beat Brady at Brady's own game? Nick Foles did. So I can say that.
But we seem to get these teams that give the national narrative an out. We seem to get these teams that give them an out. I mean, besides Indianapolis, right? We went. Kenny Galladay was out. We're going against these teams. Barkley was out. Shepard was out. We're going against these teams that
Julio
Jones was out.
Dog,
dude, but no.
Eddie Goldman plays, dog. A lot of this stuff is shut down.
Yeah, but Eddie
Goldman was here.
I didn't say we get an out. I say they get an out.
They
get an out. Now we're going against a possible no Godwin, no possible Evans is banged up. We're going against these teams that are.
I pray for them.
The national narrative is still going to stay down on the Bears, and that's okay. I'm okay.
Man, nobody gives LeBron.
I don't care.
I'm totally okay with the national narrative being down on the Bears. But what I need to see is fire. I need to see an NFL team that comes out here and wants to play. I need to see a team that doesn't come out on the first couple of plays of the game and has fun. Like, I'm not here for you to have fun. Have fun when you're up 38-0, right? Like, and I'm here for a team that moves the ball downfield, that can be like strategic.
Guys, let's wrap this up. Because I'm starting over again.
By the way, how uninterested did Ted Ginn look returning punts today?
Dude, I sent out a tweet that said just fair catch from now on. I don't care.
He didn't want to be. He's like, is this what you brought me in here for? This is what you brought me here for?
When you talk about, the loss of Tariq Cohen, you got to start there with his special teams play on punt return. So let's go around the table and get final thoughts here. We'll call it a night. Mr. Tyler Ellis, you look resigned.
Oh no, I mean, I appreciate it, but I gotta take care of my man. We always we gotta let the guests go first. We gotta let my man Bobby Bonds.
All right.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Come in there. Appreciate my man taking time.
So you want my final thoughts? I probably should have made myself when I cleared my throat, but either way, I'm a rookie at this. And here we go. That's all we can say, panelist. All right. So final thoughts are: Matt Nagy is not prepared to run an offense. He's not prepared. He's prepared to scheme in his own head on how something will go out, but he's not prepared when something goes wrong with that. He wants big plays. He wants he wants highlights, and he's not methodical. Second thought is Nick Foles can be the quarterback. I think he can be. If he could stay healthy, I think he can be the quarterback. I think, honestly, I'll go just wild here and say that I think that Mitch might get traded before the end of the year. If we see some of these quarterbacks going down with COVID and we see all this crap going down, that he might get traded. Is this team what the record says? No, I don't think they are. I think this team is way behind the power curve of where they should be. I think this team relies on their defense a lot more than they should. I think that Chicago agrees with it because we're from Chicago and we rely on our defense. And I don't think that that's where we should be anymore. I think we should actually rely on our defense, but yet tip the pedestal and hold our offense accountable. And we fail to do that collectively as Bears fans. Overall, do I think they can make it? Like at least a playoff run and make it? I do. I think they can make the playoffs. I think they can stumble in. I don't think that they're a team that can make it to the NFC Championship. I think we'll find something that makes us fall down and whatever. But as of right now, man, I'll leave all the playoff stuff to rest. I think this is a team that, you know what, I kind of wish they would have lost a game ago or 2 games ago, because the old saying, you know, you get punched in the mouth and see what happens. I think this team got a little cocky and a little too big for what they thought they were. And something should have woke you up a long time ago when you're coming back in the fourth quarter to win games. So that's where I'm at with this team. They make me like keep a paddle on my chest, just waiting to shock me back to life, man. And with as much money and as much talent is spent for this team, it definitely should not be that way. That's where I'm at. Over to old Mr. Tyler Ellis, the games report. What you got, man?
Fellas, let's get ready to thank goodness it's a short week. It's a short week, and I'm encouraged because, but Bobby, on the contrary, this is the game we wanted them to lose because it was an AFC, and so. But I do feel you.
Yeah.
This was the game. I think Aldo, John, we talked about it last week. You want to get if you're going to lose a game, get that one. If this is the one we're going to lose, okay, cool, lose this one, but don't lose any other ones. And so that would be very sweet and nice. And so, but not. I mean, play loose, play fast. The coaches. This is on the coaches. Like, what's the film session going to look like? Guys got to step up. I'm encouraged. I step down. I'm still down for the cause. We got the players. We got the talent. I'm not jumping ship on anybody. Like, it is what it is. I'm gonna trust my coach until he's no longer my coach at the end of the day. And so Nagy is a good person. He can get the people together. Let's see what the leaders do, dog. I mean, we got punched in the face. Let's see how we respond. It'd be dope if we go out there and smash Tom Brady. That'd be pretty dope. That'd be an epic thing for our defense to do in the NFC. And so, like, at the end of the day, Mitch, I hope you're learning, because either Mitch is learning a lot right now, regardless if it's going to be for the Bears in the future or the next team he goes to, because you learn a lot when you see the rights and the wrongs. And so, hey, let's get ready to bear down. I can't, it's hard to keep it positive, but
not for you.
I mean, I still feel like no matter what, I still feel no matter like what, we can still ride this thing somewhere. Yeah. And so I just hope Foles can get it together. I hope Foles can make the plays. He's shown it. He did it. I'm not like Bobby. We've all discussed this. Foles is like, he's chill. Bobby talked about it. He's relaxed. John, he's relaxed. He will let it go. Foles, go out here and make this play. Foles was waiting for people to jump ship on him. He's been there before. Jump ship. So what? They've done
Foles
it.
Foles has got so much more to compare this to now, though. He has a full Nagy game to compare to the other 3 coaches that have run this offense, and to go back and tell Nagy where he's wrong.
I mean, everybody collectively, but this is for a full team assessment. So wrapping this up, Bear family, Bear Nation, y'all be peaceful, man. Y'all stay productive, dog. It's okay. It's okay. Just chill out, relax, stay safe. You know what I'm saying? Be here to watch on Thursday, because we probably will do something special Thursday night after the game, if that's definitely possible. Like, I'd be definitely, Bear Football got your back. Watch my man Tucci Nagoon for the fantasy updates Tuesday night. My man John, take it away and tell us about the great shows we got coming up this week, big dog.
Man, I shouldn't follow you because I should stay positive, and I don't really want to stay positive right now, but I guess I have to. So putting a bow on this. Listen, like I said before, I think that a lot of people right now are going full Denny Green on us and saying they are who we thought they were. They were a team that got lucky 3 weeks playing bad opponents, and when they played someone worth a damn, this is what happened. But I see a team that was lacking adjustments, and I see a head coach that believes his system is the right way to go. And everyone's saying he has to stop calling the plays. He has to hand over play calling ability or duties. That's never going to happen. As long as he's here, he's probably going to call the play. So we got to get used to that. With a quick turnaround against a team like Tampa Bay, I don't know what else they're going to do differently. But I hope that they take something out of this, knowing that this is not the way to win ball games. This is not the way that you're going to win ball games. This is not the way you're going to get into the playoffs. Do I think this team can make the playoffs? Yes, I do. I think that they've built up enough wins so far that they can make the rest of the season, almost 500 and still kind of stumble in. Or they got to win 6 more. So I'm holding out hope that this team can put it together. But long term, there are a lot of the best way I can put it is concerns. I'm not going to bash them, but at the same time, this team needs a lot of work, and they're going to have to try to do it on the fly. And in this crazy 2020 season where guys are going down and people are getting on the COVID list, and games are getting postponed and put into different bye weeks, or they're going to have to play on Monday, maybe they'll play on Tuesday. Anything can happen here. So the Bears have a quick turnaround. Anything can happen whenever they step on the field. I think Foles can be the guy. I don't think he's going to be the guy, the future guy. He's not like I called him last week. He may not be Mr. Right, but he could be Mr. Right now. And that could be enough to get them into a moderately successful season. So that's where I'm at. I'm just interested to see. Thursday will go a long way in telling us where they're at now, because if they get smoked by Tampa Bay, then you're going to start seeing the wrong trajectory on this team. But I think that it could be an interesting matchup with the Bucs on Thursday. As far as what's going on with the rest of the bar room, as far as me. Yeah, Buffone 55. That's every Wednesday with me and Alyssa Barbieri. That's going to be we're going to have some interesting reaction to what we saw today. Also, this week, another episode of our new show, Pass the Mic, a show all about empowering female voices in sports media. Our inaugural episode, we had Peggy Kaczynski on. That was a fantastic episode. You should go check that out. This week, we have a really interesting, fascinating, awesome guest. Her name is Amanda Roller. She is a Canadian coach, a broadcaster, and soon-to-be Olympian as well. And so she's also the game day host for the Saskatchewan Roughriders up at the CFL. Their season in peril right now. It doesn't look like they didn't have their season. So, but she has done it all, from rugby to playing on the Canadian national women's football team, where she was a wide receiver and cornerback, to being a game day host, to being a speed and conditioning coach for the University of Regina, where Akeem Hicks actually attended college up in Canada. So she is going to be an awesome guest, because she's had a very interesting journey from where she started to where she is now. We're going to talk about her journey there, her struggles, the criticism she's had to endure throughout that entire process of being an athlete and an analyst and a broadcaster. So it's going to be a really fantastic show. Hopefully that'll be out towards the end of the week. So that's Pass the Mic with myself and Alyssa Barbieri. We also do Buffone 55. So check those shows out. They're going to be really, really good this week. And Aldo, our fearless leader, El Capitan, go ahead and take us out.
I was going to offer up the last words, and I will, but first I got to turn it over to Bobby, who has something to say about Tyler's wardrobe change.
Yeah, did you see that too? Like this dude shut off his camera and came back, and he's like about to go clubbing now or do something. Like, for real. I seen him, and then he left, then he came back, and I was like, yo, what the hell? Did you just go change? Like, hey, that's Tyler Ellis, though. This dude's always getting it, man. I mean, I talk to Tyler all the time. This dude's always about making something happen. He's taking steps to somewhere. Sometimes I don't know where the hell he's going, but either way, I'm going to push him up those things and let him get a little higher than he thinks he is. And either way, dude, he came back with a whole wardrobe change. He's got this whole freedom fighter or something, defend higher. Yeah, I'm good with it. Either way, man. Either way, Tyler came back and shocked us all with a wardrobe trade. Next time I'm shutting off the camera, I'm coming back naked. John.
No, you're not.
I am too, and I'm doing a Manscaped commercial. Screw it.
I'm going to offer up my final words here. And first of all, before I do that, I got to say to my brother here, Bob Phelan, There's no effing way they're going to trade Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah,
This is the COVID season. And so you need to have all the quarterbacks that have been in training camp. You need to have them in the quarterback room because Nick Foles can go down tomorrow with COVID.
Yeah, I
Tyler
get
Boyd
it.
can go down. So there's no way they're going to trade Mitch. This is
So-
the quarterback situation for the season.
I get a rebuttal. Continue.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So my rebuttal is, although this is the COVID season, there are quarterbacks going down all around the league. There are people searching for a quarterback that can run their team and might be willing to pay a little higher for your quarterback than
So what are they going to pay?
they
A
would before.
fourth-round draft pick? If you trade Mitch Trubisky, you're telling the team we're forfeiting the rest of the season because we're taking away.
not
the
if you
quarterback
trade Mitch.
You have to have quarterback insurance. So I'll leave it at that. And then also I will say to you, when you said you wish they would have lost a game earlier in the season, what are you drinking tonight?
Yeah.
You don't offer up losses so that a team can win a lesson. No,
I wish they would have woke the hell up somewhere along
I
the way. This team
understand
has
that
to wake
point,
up.
but you don't offer up a victory to wake up. They got that. What you are asking for happened today. Now, I'll leave it at that, and I'll offer up my final thought. This is a team that played a better team today, a better organization, a better head coach, and a better coached team. And that's why we lost. So the disheartening thing is that we've faced a team that is a clear playoff team and a Super Bowl contender, and we did not measure up in all three facets of the game: special teams, defense, and offense. But there are some things to consider when you look forward, is that you had a quarterback in there who really didn't have an OTA with the team. That a quarterback who can play well, we know that he can because he led the Philadelphia Eagles to a Super Bowl. And so perhaps we can take some solace into hoping that he's going to continue to play better, and that the fourth quarter that we saw last week against the Atlanta Falcons, that we will see that more consistently moving forward with this team. So there's a little bit of hope there for this offense. What I'm worried about is this offensive line. They got schooled today by that Colts defensive line. So they have got to get better. We have all been heaping praise on Juan Castillo. Juan Castillo hopefully will face the media and explain to us what happened today. What went wrong that this Indianapolis Colts defensive line totally controlled the line of scrimmage. And what also we have to consider moving forward is that this defense really did play well. To allow 19 points is really asking all you can ask out of a defense. And it was because of the offense, because of the lack of execution at the line of scrimmage, because of the lack of execution by offensive players, because of the penalties on both sides of the ball, but because of penalties, that we did not win this game. So I'm going to walk away totally frustrated, but also with a slimmer of hope that we can regain our composure and win football games. It's just like Tyler Ellis just said. We got punched in the face today, and it hurt. It really, really hurt. But we can get back. We can shake it off. My father once told me, when you get punched in the face, the measure of a man is if you can go like that, sniff the blood out of your nose, and continue to fight. And I think this team has that fight in them. And I'm hoping to see it Thursday night against the Tampa Bay Bucks when we play Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, and the rest of these guys, because that is going to be the real measuring stick for this Chicago Bears team. Guys, I really love having you on this Bears Barroom Network. Bobby Phelan with the Barfly Tailgate Show. You can catch him every morning, 8 a.m. Central, right here on the Barroom Network. He and his teammates always getting you ready for the game. Bobby, what do you got going for this Thursday's game? What time are you going to be on? Can you share anything with us? Because we're all anxious to get your information before the game.
Yeah, without a doubt. Hey, so we're going to go 5 Central, 6 Eastern. We're going to come at you for 2 hours. We're going to give you about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes of leeway. We might try to end it a little sooner, depending on, whatever. But we're going to try to give you, let you go about 20 minutes before the game. No fantasy deal going on. It's a Thursday night game, but we're going to try to bring you in. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens throughout the week. We'll see where we're at. We'll come with injuries. We'll come with what Tampa's got bringing to the table. Tampa took a tough game today. There was a lot of bruises happening in that game. So this might not be the team that you think is coming into this week. But there's going to be a lot to talk about, and we'll go from there. We'll see what Tom and the 12 and the Tampa. Tampa Bays are bringing to the fight. We're going down to Tampa. Short week for the Bears. They're going to have to travel, like John said earlier. They're going to have to travel tomorrow or the next day, get down there, maybe a late schedule. But we got Tampa coming, and we'll go from there.
John Buffon, I got to ask you this before I let you go. How important is it to you that we beat Tom Brady in his final appearance at Soldier Field?
Ever since he juked Urlacher out of his jock all those years ago, it's pretty important. Yeah,
Urlacher and Briggs.
Ever since that moment, it's incredibly. It's important for the season. It's important because that's probably, for all intents and purposes, the last time the Bears are going to play against Tom Brady. I mean, if he plays next year, they could end up on the schedule somehow with it, the way it shakes out. But for
maybe
this, I'm just assuming, this could be the last time they ever play Tom Brady. And quite frankly, Tom Brady came into the league when I was in 6th grade. That's like the last link to my childhood as far as quarterback. I mean, Drew Brees was there when I was in 7th and 8th grade or whatever. But the last link is Tom Brady, I was 12 years old when he came into the league. So it's
George Wallace came into the league when I was in 6th grade.
So it's important because I remember I was watching. Real quick anecdote. I was in my grandpa's house watching with my Uncle Doug when Tom Brady came in relief of Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, wow.
I can't believe I forgot that. We were watching football and all of a sudden we saw that Drew Bledsoe got taken out of the game. And I don't know exactly the conversation we had, but I'm like, Drew Bledsoe's out. And I remember my Uncle Doug sitting on the couch right here. My grandpa's over in the chair right there. I remember to the day it was against the Jets when he took that hellacious shot to the chest that he got taken out and got put in. And then that was, 20 years ago or 19 years ago in 2001 when that happened or whatever. So that just jumped in my head. That's incredible.
That is unreal. All right, we've got tons of programming for you throughout the week on the Barroom Network. Tomorrow, Les Grobstein and David Schuster will be here to talk about this game and the Chicago baseball season that is now over, unfortunately. We've got Mark Shanowski and David Schuster talking about the Chicago Bulls and the NBA Finals. We've got Greg Gabriel. He's going to give us his opinion on what happened with these Chicago Bears team. And I know for one thing, because I saw a tweet that he just posted a few minutes ago, is that Greg Gabriel has a lot of appreciation for this Colts team. He's good buddies with Greg Ballard, so he's going to talk a little bit about the formidable opponent that we had. So those 3 shows are going to be on your podcast stream tomorrow, and then we've got much more throughout the week. So stay with us here on the Barroom Network, Bears Barroom Radio Network, and let your friends know. Until next time.
Thank you.